Or I don't. Can we give away the jazz on that one? Can we? Well, not the jazz. I mean,
You can jazz all over this.
I'm jazzed up, baby. But like the spring, like the main huge spring in the back. I mean, that thing is it's huge, and it manages every bit of whatever you throw at it. The supers, the subs. Welcome back to CF Podcast, guys. Here in the beautiful Q Ranch in Folsom, New Mexico. We're here. We've got Ryan.
What's up, guys?
We've got Nick.
Howdy.
We've got Mitch and the boys from Q.
Hello.
What's going on, gents?
We are living the dream.
Long time no see.
It has been a while.
I know, but we're back here now.
At the Q Ranch
At the
with
Q.
Q.
Ranch with Q.
Last time we met
we're not back here. Like, this is our first time.
Oh, well, it's not my first rodeo, but is it?
Rodeo.
It's my second rodeo. I feel quite at home. The owners love us out here. It's a really good deal.
Awesome people. Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, amazing people.
Absolutely. Appreciate that.
Dinner.
Shout out to Connor and Leo, man, for hosting us. Absolutely. And of course, we're out here for a lovely training event with the man, the myth, the legend, Buck Doyle himself. So just saying.
He's looming in the background.
He's looming.
Yeah.
He's ominous. He's like that. He's like a shadow. I can feel it. So yeah, man, we're out here. I mean, there's something special out here, right? Something that just popped up new from Q. And we're here to talk about the Boombox.
Hell yeah.
So yeah.
Oh yeah, brother.
We're clearly not the sales guys.
He's like, I made Boombox, yes.
I just build the rifles.
That's what I do. Yeah.
Well, it was funny. When last time we were up there, and of course, maybe if you haven't checked out our Q Factory tour, which is just skyrocketing, right? We didn't get to show you guys everything about it because it was still in development, but we kind of teased it a little bit. But now, this is where the rubber meets the road, and we're out here in the elements, about to put it to the test. So, guys, first of all, thank you so much for coming up with that. That's awesome.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Pretty
And
cool.
providing those boomboxes. I mean, we haven't gotten into the course yet, but just the sheer number of boomboxes to be able to shoot this, I haven't seen anything like this before. So I'm really excited.
We're like happy to get the footage in the dark where no one can tell what it looks like. So
Yeah.
it's really cool.
So yeah, about the course. Yeah. So we've got 3 days out here, day and night course. So we are shooting night vision, helmets, nods, all that jazz, whiz bang stuff. Got some lambs on some stuff, and we are here to check out the Boombox, man, and see what happens.
But this is the podcast to kind of learn more about the
Yeah.
boombox before we even start shooting it.
Yeah.
So, none of the course footage will be out yet. That's upcoming really soon.
Shout out and look out for that because
Yes,
it's going to be
very
fire.
soon.
So you get to see us totally embarrass ourselves out here, but it's all good.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Because the men who put this thing together and made this happen are sitting right in front of us. So, guys, take it away, man. It's Boombox, man.
The beginning's not far enough back. You got to go before then.
Start before the beginning.
How long have we been working on 8.6?
The year was 19 dickety.
No, we've come a long way. I mean, I don't know the exact date. Was it probably sometime in 2016 or 17 that we started working on the cartridge itself?
Right.
Wow.
Ethan, the VP of engineering at Q, it's kind of his brainchild. So, we started building guns, hacking other people's guns apart just to be able to prove that the cartridge fits in the magazine and can be reliable. So, we built a couple of prototype guns out of some competitors and had some guys go shoot some stuff with it and get some initial feedback. What else?
So was it the chicken or the egg situation? So you guys came up with the ammo, it sounds like, first, before you actually came up with the platform.
Yeah, I think Ethan had the idea for the ammo while we were working on the fix originally. It would have been like 2016, 2017. And we started out with 338 Federal. Like the idea was to do fast twist and do a 338 cartridge because it would feed in a SR25 mag.
Right.
And that's what was available. What we quickly found out we couldn't fit the kind of bullets we really wanted to load in that casing. So if you look at them comparatively, like what became 8.6 Blackout is more to accommodate the super and sub crossover on that larger platform casing. And then 338 particularly because it fits and feeds in an SR25 mag. And that obviously leads us to, wouldn't it be awesome if there were a semi-auto gun that worked with an SR25 mag that shot that cartridge as well?
Okay. So as we talk about that, like for the folks who don't know what 8.6 is, right? Like they're a novice walking into this. What is the basis of the round? So it's a 338 projectile?
It's a 338 projectile or 8.6 millimeter.
Right.
The casing, base case is 6.5 Creedmoor.
Okay.
The casing is shortened, the shoulders push back, and we load anywhere between as low as a 160 grain bullet available in the supersonic now, all the way up to a 350 or 400 grain bullet in subsonic. And we can go really lighter and heavier, but that's really what it's developed to do, is give you a 300 Blackout-like crossover between sub and super, but really be better in every way.
Okay.
So in a 12-inch barrel with our light bullets, we can match 308 ballistics or come very close, and then turn around and just basically wipe the floor with any other sub comparatively, with a much heavier bullet.
Yeah, and that brings up a good point, because I think a lot of people would say, 300 Blackout has become so prolific. Why try to change it, right? Reinvent the wheel if 300 Blackout isn't even fully established in a lot of ways. Some people would even argue that.
Right.
And you guys are now progressing it even further. And as Kevin said, I think last time we were there, almost making 300 Blackout obsolete in certain ways.
Yeah, I mean, that's the true desire here, is to increase the range of a 300 Blackout-like round, like take subs to new distances.
Right.
I would say new heights, but that just happens in the middle of the distance.
Right.
That's really like push that. I mean, we all can do lots of cool things with 300 Blackout. Some of the bullets that have been loaded are pretty awesome these days, but we can take that and push it further in every way. So, that's like my dream, is to shoot stuff at 500 yards with subs. We're beyond halfway there, but we're getting there. Whereas you wouldn't even think about taking those shots with 300 Blackout. That's
right.
It'd be a much different game.
Yeah, so kind of addressing that, so taking it out to further distances. You're making a bigger projectile. It's still subsonic, so it's under like 1,100 around feet per second, right? So at that point, how are you making that cartridge stretch its legs to its full potential?
We get a bunch of advantages just because of mass. So
Okay.
way more energy at the muzzle because the bullet's heavier. Twist rate, we also get to flex a little harder. So when 300 Blackout came out, it really, even we at Q, we do our 300 Blackouts in 1 in 5s, which is fast for 300 Blackout. In 8.6, we go to 1 in 3. And we had that plan from the very beginning, and that just pumps a whole bunch of extra energy. So in 338, there's a bunch of math I can go into it, but it's basically you get a bunch of bonus energy due to rotation, and it comes out to like several hundred, like a couple hundred foot-pounds, like real difference in energy. Right. So take a 300 Blackout, even your optimized like 190 sub X, super great load for shooting stuff with 400 foot-pounds, a little bit more at the muzzle. We're going to take that to 8. So real difference. Along with that, you have much better ballistic coefficients. And then we've found even better performance than traditional, because those bullets are never supersonic. They fly better.
Okay.
And that means they fly flatter compared to their, they're still very rainbowy compared to supersonic cartridges, but compared to like a lighter sub, much flatter, better, easier to shoot, and terminal performance at distance.
Right.
That's the real difference.
And when we were up there with you guys, we got to shoot the Boombox, previewing it, and we were shooting a honey badger, and we were trying to hit that 400 and change gong in the back. We got it a couple of times, but then when we switched to the 8.6 Blackout in the Boombox, it was just seamless, easy.
It was
easy. The holdover wasn't even anything crazy. We were just shooting EOTech.
It's all about finding your zero.
Yeah.
And at that point, the cartridge just did its job.
Yeah.
And that's what we saw.
We like to think of it like, it's a real challenge to shoot like a 6.5 at 1,000 yards. There's wind, time of flight, all these factors. You think of it shooting subsonic at 300 to 400 yards. It's the same set of challenges and the same difficulties, and knowing the trajectory and the variables, but it's doable. It's just you got to get comfortable with holding a little higher.
Yeah, no, and that's a really good point you bring up is like 300, 400 yards, how it's similar. Some people, when they hear that, they're like, oh, that's way too short because they probably live out in New Mexico where we are right now, or they live, in Utah, and they have a lot more range. For us in North Carolina, I'm just going to speak on our behalf. For hunting, it's usually not more than 100 yards.
Yeah.
You might stretch it out if you have a pretty big field to like 250, 300, but not any more than that, really.
It really changes the way you hunt all around. Like once you start putting subsonic bullets into animals, you realize the benefits. Like it's quiet, it's not disturbing a herd. You can hunt in the same area like repetitively. Like you can hunt one day and come back. The herd's not scared off. So like once you commit to that subsonic, you think about hunting a little different as far as like it's a fun challenge to get super close to animals. Or work a little bit harder, but the benefit is you can shoot this animal here and then turn around and shoot one. Nick and I hunt together, and we've gotten situations where we've been able to both harvest animals within seconds of each other just because animals aren't running all over the place from a supersonic crack.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's a great point. And just like you said, you guys hunt all the time, and I know you guys were out kind of this way like recently, and then Africa, right? You guys shot some stuff in Africa.
Some stuff, yeah.
I got to hear about this.
Funny. I mean, it is funny that we're here because as soon as we launched the Boombox, like we got the first couple hundred guns out the door, and Nick and I had an opportunity to go pronghorn hunting, and turns out it was just 20 minutes down the road.
There
from
you
here.
go.
That's crazy.
So we're familiar with the area, but yeah, we kind of just as a celebration of getting some guns out the door, we went and tried to subsonic some pronghorn, and anyone who's hunted pronghorn know that they have great eyes and usually are in places with low cover. So like trying to hunt super, good eye seeing animals and low cover, like it was quite a challenge with the subs, but that's what makes it fun. Like, we were able to get within, you got to remind me, was it 180? 180 with yours. So like to take a pronghorn, 180 with a sub, it was awesome. Like really cool way to wrap up the production, buy off of the gun. So
is that your favorite hunting story with 8.6 Blackout? I feel like you guys have a lot.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, we have a ton. And carrying on from what Mitch was saying before, and this isn't with boomboxes, unfortunately, because we can't take semi-autos to Africa, a lot with 8.6.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Like 3 or 4 times now, like one of us has been able to take a shot on the animal, and then like the animals didn't leave. So we hand the gun to the other guy and shoot another one. Even to the point where we had to be like, all right, we're going to stop doing that because we've got 3.
Slow down.
We've got 3 animals down and we don't know.
That one's dead.
Like we have to go find them.
But people don't see that unless you're out shooting this gun. And it's just some weird stuff happens that gets you really excited. Like, the gunshot is so quiet that animals don't necessarily run away from you. They don't know where the shot comes from. Like we've had bullets, a subsonic will pass through on some animals. And so like sometimes the bullet going through the animal, hits the ground and they hear that and run towards you, like weird, crazy things. Like,
that is interesting.
Would, never experienced with supersonic hunting. So
have you guys gotten in collateral yet? You get one and then accidentally get the other one behind it.
No, we're not. We try to avoid the.
I did. I think that was in Rust in 2008. Yeah,
that's risky.
MW2.
Oh, baby, a triple.
That one since
cool
then.
though. Even the antelope that I just shot in Colorado, just north of here, was 185 yards. I make the first shot off my elbows, and the animal does not react. He moved like 2 feet and kept looking at us like, what was that? I thought I missed. Send another one. That one we hear. He runs like 60 yards, tumbles over. We go up there. He's got 2 holes in him. The first one basically went through his heart, and he just stood there.
Wow.
It was like a bow hit. I'm sure you've heard stories like that bow hunting, but it was wild. Like I registered a miss.
Yeah.
And he was just gonna stand there. And
leak
it was
out.
wild.
That's crazy.
It's it's a very different reaction or effect, the subsonic bullet versus a supersonic. You don't get that, huge hydrostatic shock or temporary wound cavity that you do with a supersonic. So it's different. It's not like animals are just falling over with the subs. Like, like we definitely see stuff run a few yards, but I would say they're usually dead before they, quit running. Like and that's another thing that we kind of have been trying to preach and show to the industry is that we, not only are we gaining energy rotationally with these fast twist barrels, but like the lethality and the actual surface area as these like subsonic bullets open up and pedal open into like what looks like a broadhead or a cutter.
Right.
Like as that bullet rotates more revolutions as it passes through a body, it's tearing up more tissue, it's causing more damage to the vitals. And it's like, it's this weird thing that it's hard to put on paper, like here's the amount of effectiveness, or more effectiveness that you have with the fast twist. But we've just put down so many animals with it that like you can't deny that it works like phenomenally. So.
Right. And I remember we were talking about that, like it twisting in the body and what it does to the cavity. So 300 blackout tumbles, 3 times in the body, give or take?
I mean, we're in our guns in 1 and 5, you're going to get a couple of rotations through a larger animal. But you imagine in 1 and 3, like could be 3, 4, 5, 6,
wow.
Depends on the size.
Now imagine 1 and 1.
That's where we're headed. But
we're not done yet.
We'll get there one day.
I'm so excited.
1 and 1.
That is interesting.
So we've rifled barrels in 1 and 1, and it like the industry is a little like they're kind of afraid of these fast twists, like saying that there's not like it's not effective or it's not you don't see a benefit, but like I just think they're confused and mistaken.
Yeah. So a barrel having that fast of a twist rate would probably have some negative downsides on it's give and take with everything, right? That would have some negative downsides on ammo in that case, and how your ranges would probably have an issue, like with the bullet breaking up at longer ranges. Is that right?
There's a trade in bullet construction, certainly, but and that's really already true. If you go shoot a 35 grain ballistic tip or VMAX bullet, like that little tiny 223 varmint bullet, and you shoot that in a 1 in 7 5.56 gun, that bullet will come apart, or could come apart. I'm not saying it always is going to. So there's like combinations that exist out there that are already, you have to pay a little bit of attention. Same thing here, as we go faster, you're gonna have to look at your bullet construction, make sure it's proper for what you're trying to do. Because as we go into 1 in 1 in super, we're talking near or exceeding 1 million RPM, where most bullets are spinning stable between 150 and 250, topsing out 300 or 300,000 RPM. So it's much, much faster.
Right.
So like you just have to kind of accommodate it. Now in super 12-inch 8.6, like the guns we're going to be shooting tomorrow, those bullets are turning anywhere from 480 to 550,000 RPM, depending on the load. And we do that all the day, every of the day, year in. Like we do that all the time with solid copper bullets, no trouble. So it's not like it can't be done above 300,000. Like,
It all just depends on the bullet construction.
Right.
Like you said,
you
that
have
makes a
to
lot of sense.
pay attention to construction and what the what the load is for. If it's for an 8-inch barrel or a 12-inch barrel, like you can see a pretty substantial increase in velocity. So like a bullet that's designed for an 8-inch barrel might not be optimal for a 12-inch. So it's a lot, like it's educating the end users or the consumers and making sure, like we communicate that to the ammo developers and guys that are making bullets for us. So
Yeah. And speaking about that, let's talk about that. So how hard was it to, bring these companies in to buy into 8.6? Like I know Gorilla's one of them who's, full speed ahead. Discreet Ballistics is one.
we got Just Cause is loading some. Howworks out of Texas is loading. There's a couple other guys. We don't have any contacts with a few of them, but there's some smaller guys that like they're people are buying into it, and they're like a big shout out to Gorilla too, because like the Boombox, all of the endurance and durability testing that I did was with Gorilla ammo, and like that's what we're going to shoot over the course of the weekend. So like they've really been able to kind of give us that influx of like ammo supply to get the guns reliable and make sure that they're going to last for the consumers. So
And that endurance test was what? How many rounds?
Oh my God.
Which one?
So many.
Oh Lord, how many were
really?
there?
Well, so I mean, just the timeline. Like I started working on the gun for, like pretty seriously.
And this is the Boombox.
Yeah, 2.5 years ago, as
Right.
far as like durability and reliability of the Boombox. And so like the first thing was really like making sure the stock itself was feasible. So we built a gun in 308 and
Yeah, actually, we have some over here.
yeah.
You want to check them out?
Oh my God.
Is that the 12-inch that?
The 8 inches over there. This is the 12-inch. Right
Oh,
here.
that's the 12.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I think I need to change my Lulus after
This is
holding
the
this.
heaviest 12-inch I've ever held because it's got so much shit on it.
It does.
See this little guy? Don't worry about this little guy.
Was it?
Just one of the. So this is one of the actual production buy-off guns. So like before we release the guns to the wild, we take a build of a certain number of guns and shoot
Yeah.
many magazines through them to make sure like the kind of
Mm-hmm.
crossing the T's, dotting the I's, making sure the reliability works, the design is it functions as intended. So
Cool.
but yeah, that was just a blem sticker to mark. We use some blem parts if we can.
Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, why not?
But no, anyhow, back, like I think we were talking about just round count on the gun
Yeah, it was the
itself.
stock. I think you were talking about.
That was like the first thing that we really had to figure out is if, this is the honey badger stock. So this stock will fit on a honey badger, just the stock base itself is longer.
Okay.
So we kind of made that call just to use the parts interchangeability between the two platforms. So that was like the biggest test is like, let's build the most violent recoil gun that we can to see if that's going to last, or if we need to bump these to steel or, like titanium or something to get them to last. So, we put thousands and thousands of rounds of 308 to validate the stock so we could order that tooling because it's about the longest lead time on the gun as far as getting plastic parts done. And then we really moved into the 8.6 testing, which is, doing durability on the bolt and the extension itself. And I would say just as a rough guess, it's, between 60 and 75,000 rounds, maybe somewhere around that range that we've got through the platform in the last, year and a half of
Wow.
different iterations. And what it really comes down to is we broke the hell out of the gun
Okay.
intentionally.
Right.
And like, that's the thing that we try and set ourselves apart from, just a company putting together ARs is like, we wanted to know the weak points of this rifle. So once we kind of established some of the durability in 308, like a short-barreled 308 with no muzzle brake, just to, the worst case recoil, we went into the 8.6 durability and endurance testing, like making sure the bolt and the extension lockup was going to last, making
Right.
sure the extractor life was going to last. And like those were huge challenges. Like we broke a lot of bolts,
Yeah.
a lot of extractors.
Wow.
Like we broke parts, to learn how long can these go, what kind of firing schedule can we expect, what kind of life do we get out of the parts. So like it just gives you a lot of confidence behind the platform to say like, yeah, like I know the consumer's going to go out and he's going to shoot 10 times the value of the gun and ammo before
Yeah,
he needs
I
to
know.
worry about a replacement schedule.
That's so true. Mm-hmm. And most people will never even get up to that high round count. They're
Right.
going to shoot it, every now and again. But you guys are making it for whatever rugged environment you could possibly imagine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And why not make the best product? I know that you guys have talked about releasing the Boombox for a while, but there were some
ETAs.
Yeah, that's one thing that you guys don't go with ETAs. And I understood that more after going to Q's facility and talking with you guys about that, because you guys just keep testing this stuff and trying to figure out any little thing that you can change to make it better.
You gotta mark the finish line somewhere too, right? Like that's always a challenge. Like as engineers, you want it to be perfect, right? But we had some big setbacks that pushed. Like we probably could have sold the gun a year sooner than we did, but we knew that there was a few parts that had to be changed or improved. Like it sounds silly, but honestly, the charging handle was one of the biggest pain in the asses.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
Like the charging handle is completely redesigned. We stuck with a mil spec, envelope, or let's say touch points, or the way the thing feels in your hands. But from a functionality, we changed a bunch of stuff. So, like a little setback like that, that was pretty far into the project that we found out that, just a regular mil spec charging handle just isn't going to stay closed over the life of the gun. Those aluminum surfaces wear out. So we ended up going with some steel inserts and steel latches and a few other, things that we did to keep it closed. But like that delayed the project by months. But again, it's not something we're not going to ship it until we can stand behind it. So.
Right, and I'm seeing that just like you're saying about the charging handle, this little rubber shelf to keep everything forward. Right.
So it acts as a little dampener. So because this gun is such a lightweight, we kind of go back and forth on what to call it. It's not an SR-25. It's not an AR-10. It's an AR-15 that shoots 8.6 blackout. So it's very small. Like the diameter is the same as an M4. Barrel extension and bolt are relatively the same as an M4. So because this gun is so light and small and such a high, you get a higher recoil in 8.6 than you do versus 5.56. Right. It's much more violent. What happens with the charging handle? So you get a lot of sideways translation and back and forth. So what we ended up doing is balancing the latches about the pivot pin. So under recoil, the latches don't throw themselves open under their own inertia. And then also, we added that little bumper that just acts as a dampener. And it just keeps that latch preloaded so that under recoil, it's not bouncing or throwing itself open.
Yeah, for those of you who can't see, it's basically just attached to the upper. And it sits right above the shelf for where the charging handle would slide into, typically. That's really interesting.
And it's funny because it's such a little portion of the gun. I talk about it a lot because it was a setback as far as timeline, but everything else that went together and how the gun goes together from the barrel, we've got barrel pinch in this gun, so kind of like what we do in the fix, the barrel extension goes into the receiver, and then we pinch or wrap the receiver around the barrel so that you have a zero clearance fit between your receiver, your upper receiver and barrel extension. Yeah. And then even the handguard, similar to the fix, we got 2 screws that drive the handguard or bolt it directly to the upper, and then a pinch on the bottom that wraps that handguard around the upper receiver. So
that's so interesting.
That's so cool.
There's all these little things, and it's we could spend, you guys did it. We did a customer build. It's hours of just talking about all this stuff. Yeah. Not let alone not get into all the iterations of parts and trial and error things that we did. So.
I mean, but this platform fully customizable. That, as we think about it, you've got the Q-Sort handguard, which is one of, if not the stiffest handguard on the market. You've got an integrated top rail that bolts in, that mounts. I mean, you guys have outdone yourselves, and I know there's no such thing as perfection. We strive for excellence on a daily basis, but you guys have damn near hit perfection on this thing, man. So kudos. Definitely.
It's a beautiful gun.
Absolutely.
To say the least. That's just the basics of it. But, man, you guys really knocked it out of the park. And, everybody at home, you've got to shoot it to really understand 8.6 and everything that we're talking about. Otherwise, it's just people talking about this really cool caliber. And you got to hear it. You got to experience it. Yeah. It is so interesting. So it's customizable. We talked about that, right? So because it's so customizable, obviously you can have a hunting application with this for hogs, like a lot of people do with semi-auto 300 blackouts. But then there's the other side of that coin, which is the military application with something like this. I know this is not a thing where it has been talked about too much because, you guys may be trying to figure out where to fit the square into the square size hole that the military might need. You know what I mean? The cube into that. So what do you guys think this would be best utilized in for military applications?
So we like to, we kind of approach it a little bit differently, I think, than most, as far as instead of going and looking for a contract or an open submission and then chasing that, we like to look at, what's the best possible thing? And then go show it to people and then let them tear it apart, pare it down, reconfigure it. And that's kind of where you're looking at a couple of the basic options, like on the 12-inch gun. With the SD, you're looking at it's a sweet little PDW gun, right? Except it ain't little, right? So
it's pretty big.
It handles small, acts big, and that's 8.6, and the Boombox in total is recoil and ease of shooting versus effect on target. They spread up. A 308 is hard to shoot. 5.56 easy to shoot. We get the 308 to 308 plus effect on target with 5.56 ease. also in size, weight, modularity, ability to customize. So we can go a lot of different directions with the gun. Like what with your holding with the SD, not only does it look cool, and that seems to be what its best defining feature
Absolutely. I can definitely attest to that.
is, right? I mean, it really looks cool.
It's right up my alley.
But the shroud's awesome for a couple other like super practical reasons.
Right.
Like in the short barrel guns, like 8 or 6 inch like this gun, you start running out of attachment points on the handguard, so you get those back with the shroud in some regards. You have some actual thermal signature reduction, which I kind of thought was super dumb, but then we went and shot it in the dark and it works. So I was like, that's actually pretty cool.
There you go.
So as the can gets hot, this gun stays less visible,
Okay.
like through thermal.
Okay. Wow.
Because you'll just see the tip of the can sticking out the front.
Okay.
Being hot, and that works. You still have a very small package. This is obviously set up to do a lot of close-in sub-type work. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, some of the most accurate sub work we've done is in shorter barrels. So this might actually be the best long-range sub gun. With that, we have yet to learn. But at the same time, Mitch we can reconfigure that gun into a recce gun in no time. Into an 18-inch 6.5 Creedmoor or an 18 or 20-inch 6 Creedmoor or something like that.
Right.
That's a really good point that we haven't brought up
Yeah.
at all.
Quick barrel changes.
And we've really just talked about 8.6 with the Boombox.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Which is what we're working on next. Like we're really pushing because we believe in the cartridge so much. We want to see it succeed. So we focused on the 8.6 first, but that's exactly what I'm working on. Right now is 308, 6 Creedmoor, 6.5, and we spent so much time making sure the gun was reliable in the shortest configuration that making it longer and heavier is easy.
all right.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier. So
it is.
we we won't look at the project from a standpoint of we want a recce stock, so we're gonna make the recoil system longer. I think we'll just make the back of the tube longer. The overall space that the carrier and spring take up stays the same.
Right.
But we can just stick some tube on the back of it, and you could put a mil-spec style stock or a recce style stock, and then go over to those 18-inch barrels where you start to get a little bit better performance for flat shooting, long-range cartridges. So.
And I think when we were there, we saw that one with that Reptilia stock on it, which looked really cool. I thought it was a fixed stock, but it's not, right?
Yeah, I might have shot a pronghorn about 20 miles from here.
There you go. See?
That's
there you
awesome.
go. So, yeah, man, the capabilities of this are just, you guys are, I know it's almost, like you said, you got to have a finish point somewhere, right? But this is truly only just the beginning of just this one thing. So you've got, just like you said, 308, 6.5, all these other calibers that are getting ready, eventually over time, right? Rolling it. And so you got all these new points where you're about to hit these benchmarks again, brother, and you're about to test it out and see what's going on. So I am, first of all, beyond stoked. Of course, I am all for 8.6.
Yeah, you guys brought up a great point, because this whole time we were talking about 8.6, I was thinking military application with that. But like you said, just depending on what the caliber is, that is whatever answer they're looking for.
Right.
It is the Boombox, just whatever they need it for. So with that, what calibers are you guys excited for? We talked about 8.6, 6.5 Creedmoor. Any others in the works?
I think from an engineering standpoint, the 308 is going to be super awesome because it's a real challenge.
Okay.
It's actually really hard to make short-barreled 308s run. 308 has such a broad spectrum of ammo availability, and to make a gun digest all that stuff is a hard task. I think Mitch would tell you he's probably super hot on 6 Creedmoor at the moment.
Oh.
Yeah, we talked to some of our friends that like to shoot 6 arc, and it's you have a 6 arc that's this heavy, and I have a 6 Creedmoor that's lighter.
Wow.
And has way more case capacity and on target energy available. So it's we're trying to show and that's just from conversations with some guys that actually use those guns in their work. So it's it seems to make sense to me to give them a lighter, smaller package with more capability. And that's just a little bit of picking barrel length and what what parameters mean something to them.
Okay.
So, like I'm pretty, like I've been working on. I've got probably 3 or 4 different prototypes for the 6 Creedmoor that I've been shooting. We went and shot some Texas whitetail with them to see how they put them out in the field. But that was just last week. But just we're constantly looking for, what is the next thing that somebody needs that they don't realize they need. So
Right. And speaking about the challenges that you guys had, you guys completely redid the whole buffer system completely. So I remember when we talked about that, you're like, I don't want to talk about it. I'm still working on it. I'm still working on it. I'm just like, geez, like we're going. So now like you've gone to like this huge, or can we give away the jazz on that one? Can we? No, well, not the jazz. I mean,
You can jazz all over this.
I'm jazzed up, baby. But like
it is.
the spring, like the main huge spring in the back. I mean, that thing is it's huge, and it manages every bit of whatever you throw at it. The supers, the subs. I mean, it was just. I mean, you of course with supers, right? You get that little bit of thump, right? But it wasn't anything that wasn't too crazy. Like to me, it felt like 6.5, like a spicy Hornady 6.5.
I agree with that. 6.5.
You know what I'm saying? Like I compare that to. I mean, most 6.5 I've shot is probably out of Scar 20S, and look at the barrel length on that thing, right? And it was like softer than that, but it just had that extra little that just gave it to you. But other than that, man, it was a breeze.
Yeah.
we put a lot of time into that carrier system.
Yeah.
Like that came actually before the Boombox did.
Okay.
Like we did, and really what it stems down to is you see our carriers come into 2 pieces, right? They split apart. And so the biggest accomplishment I think for us as a company was we started making carriers and bolts and extensions in house.
Right.
So like we control those critical components. And as soon as we split that carrier in 2, it opened up what we can do with the back half of it. Dramatically. Like we can put tungsten in it, we can put different weights, different lengths, different springs. So that really kind of was the stepping stone to getting the Boombox as small as it is. So
It's kind of an accident. I mean, that was basically because of COVID. We couldn't get carriers.
Right, I remember that.
Couldn't get carriers at all. So, I mean, Mitch and I basically we couldn't go to work, so we sat at the bar at his place and designed a 2-piece carrier, trying to figure out a way to get carriers, not really to solve a problem other than we couldn't get them.
All right.
And then we just realized the possibilities. Pretty soon, we had a sugar weasel carrier and a honey badger carrier, and then
a honey badger 556 carrier.
556 carrier.
What's that saying? Necessity is the mother of invention.
Yeah, like we just had to do it. We had to figure something out, and then down the road, we basically have 2 major, but 4 total recoil systems based off that decision, just to come up with a 2-piece carrier. And then we still have a lot of future possibility with that as well. So that's fun. We've made these in ultra lightweight carriers. Like that gun right there was just set up a couple weeks ago in an ultra quiet configuration. We have a ventless carrier with an aluminum, a mass, all just trying to figure out how to get the quietest thing to run.
So this one in particular, are you guys looking at continuing on an SD line like what we currently have right here?
It's funny because
inquiring minds want to know.
We put it together as kind of a show and tell for some demos that we had coming up, and then people started seeing it and talking about it, and it's like everybody.
It was basically Jason's.
I'm sorry. Y'all know me. I love it. It's enough place to put my hand. It's sexy. I mean, look at this thing, guys. Are you serious? Look at this thing.
What is the barrel length on this?
So that's a 6-inch.
Okay. And you guys currently have a 12-inch on the market.
12 inches selling right now. 8 inches going into the final testing. We just, we don't just chop the barrel off and ship it.
Right.
We're gonna put thousands of rounds through those and build a batch of guns. Make sure everything works correctly. We really try and do the whole job. Don't just cut the barrel off. Let's go make sure it's still going to be reliable. You still have your sub super function and same performance of the 12-inch gun. So,
what is the minimum that you guys have seen for 8.6 as far as barrel lengths go? You guys went from 12. What was that?
What was that?
It was a
wow.
There was 4 fingers held up. I don't know if that's what that signifies.
Whiskey?
I don't know. Yeah.
some point you got to leave a little bit of rifling, just a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a smidge, right?
I see what you guys are experimenting with. So this is, I mean, like you've just kind of explained, this is an ongoing project. You guys are figuring out what the relationship is. And I know this just because Mitch showed me just some stuff that he's experimenting with. There's some stuff with your relationship with barrel length to suppressor, you know, and that's a important relationship when considering an SD.
It's definitely going to be, you know, it's a fun development project. Like the can that we choose for the SD versus barrel length and ammo selection, like it's all kind of a teeter-totter.
Okay.
Like, you know, the more back pressure you get, the faster the gun's going to run, but the shorter the barrel, the less dwell time, all these things. So it's definitely in the works. We're trying to see how short is too short, which I haven't found it yet.
Stand back, pull string.
We have a lot of options over something like 338 Spectre or things that have been around a little while.
Okay.
Because we have more case capacity in 8.6 Blackout, where we can go short barrel but still load it back up to optimum sub. Like we
Wow.
can still get that thing cranked back up to 8, 9, 950, 1,000 foot per second, even in a very short barrel. And that's just because we have the room kind of to mess with it. And we're very early in the stage, but it's just something to keep in mind. And what that does, just as you've said, just like that one, you can put that big boy Funkhauser silencer on the front.
Love it.
And,
Love it.
You create, a good
Mandingo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
combination.
You rang? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know, that's what Jason's getting excited over here.
I'm so excited.
I may have a short barrel, but I have a huge suppressor. As the barrels get shorter, we can compensate.
Pause.
But
Back
also,
pressure back to the
we
face.
got this fun thing where like the bullet's spending less time in the bore, and therefore it might be more accurate. It might be easier to shoot.
Wow.
We'll see. Like it's kind of working on some theory there, but we'll just keep messing with stuff, and then we'll force people to listen to us.
That's fine. I mean, you got me sold. There's an SD version.
If we kill enough animals, people will believe us.
Well,
Yeah, it's like Field of Dreams, but with carcasses.
people just coming out of the works.
How many antelopes do we have to kill before 8.6 is proven?
How many cats had to die for you to look this fly?
What honestly is super exciting for us is we've got enough ammo suppliers on board and bullet designers, guys actually turning the copper. Like, we're headed to Africa on Monday, like a couple days from now, and we've got how many new bullets? 3 or 4 different designs that we're going to go. Like, these were just loaded. Like, we're just going to go start trying stuff, and we're going heavier on the subs and faster on the supers and see how far we can push it. So it's like,
I love that.
400 grains of pure FU energy on target, man.
And then when we get that sorted out, I was like, we'll go to 1 and 2, and then we'll do it again.
Jesus.
Dude, I love that. That is so interesting that you guys are just constantly developing it, trying to see how you can change it and progress the boombox further, but not just the boombox, just 8.6 as a whole, whatever your application is with that, whether it's a different company with their gun that's 8.6 or the fix or whatever else.
Or even bigger calibers than that.
Like mega calibers.
Like uber mega
that'd be mega cool.
calibers. There's some rumors about that.
We have a couple rumors in some cases in our rooms.
Well, folks, you're gonna have to subscribe to the late night factor to get that one. No, I'm just kidding. We'll talk about that.
So this is one that I've been dying to ask. All right, so we've been talking about the 8.6. I'm a believer. There's a lot of believers out there, but there's also a lot of people who aren't sold on this. And because of that, there's other people developing new cartridges on the market that are 8.6
338 arc
adjacent. 3.3 arc, yes. What are your opinions on 3.3 arc? 338 arc, yeah, by Hornady.
Where do we start?
You'll have to.
Cracks knuckles, breathes heavy.
I think it's been. You know what? Kevin's had a chance to say what he wants to say, so there's no reason I don't. Me personally, I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be good for 8.6 Blackout. I think subsonic hunting is freaking awesome, and anything that promotes subsonic hunting is pretty great to me. I know we're going to be better in super. That's pretty obvious. So I think I'm confident that we can take a cartridge, these bullets that everybody's been developing, put them in a 338 ARC or 338 Spectre, the things that have been done in ARs before, and it only helps tell the story of how good 8.6 Blackout is. And that's just my opinion.
You're basically saying, hey, put your best foot forward to other companies because it's just going to show how good 8.6
It's going to
Blackout
crescendo.
ultimately is.
Yeah.
And I don't think because it's going to be bad, because I think it's, it's just going to show how awesome this,
Right,
exactly.
this
Yeah.
solution is to, like, subsonic hunting is just awesome.
No, it's just that's how confident you are in your product ultimately. is
It's
what
an
you're saying.
accoutrement, per se.
And we don't load ammo, and Hornady doesn't make guns. So,
That's a
however,
Great point.
we are really deeply involved with the cartridge design and bullet design side of 8.6 Blackout. So we are deep in it. Like, we got both the gun side and the bullet side very deeply. So I'm confident that we make, as of today, by far the most reliable way to deliver a sweet subsonic hunting round.
So that's the last frontier. Q actually making ammo. That is the last great frontier. Imagine that. You guys just, if their facility is phenomenal, by the way, and just walking over and be like, oh, yep, we're making our own ammo now. That's cool.
And it really is just that simple. Just to, like, go,
Yep. You
go,
hit the
just
button.
make ammo.
There it comes.
You press a button, you make guns.
Yeah, it's just
you
ammo,
go
really.
from the gun button to the ammo button. You press it. Yeah, that's it. So another thing with 338 ARC, so it has a slower twist rate. They went with a 1 and 8.
Right.
And that stuck out to me because I remember our podcast over at SHOT Show with Kevin, and he was talking about testing 1-on-1 twists, just as
Right.
you guys were today. And why he was doing that with such a heavy load. And I'm pretty sure they're using a comparable grain weight to their 338 projectile. So why would they go with a 1 and 8 twist?
It seems that they have been, I don't know about afraid is the right word, aware that their cup and core bullets or other weaker jacketed bullets may not stand up to 1 and 3, which we've already covered in this podcast, right?
Right.
Yeah.
We already know that. That's true. Now, what is standard and what the industry does are not necessarily always the same thing. Like, the standard twist for 223 Remington is 1 in 12. Nobody makes a 1 in 12 barrel except, like, Browning and a bunch of old school companies.
Old Colt.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know as an industry we choose to do perhaps what is better. And, like, suddenly we have 80.5 grain 5.56 bullets in 1 in 7 we might be shooting tomorrow. Right. Like, and that
exciting.
makes sense. It doesn't make any sense at all in a 1 in 12. So we kind of have the same math both directions. I know it's changed, like, in the industry in my time in it, is the bullet quality is so much better than it used to be.
Right.
I'm not worried about educating our customer about buy quality bullets, buy quality ammo, and you're going to have a good time. If they don't want to do that, I'm not afraid. So
Yeah.
Okay.
and if we do 338 ARC, which why wouldn't we? It'll be in a fast twist. Like, there's no way we're making 1 in 8. That's a waste. We've already shot very, very similar bullets in 1 in 3 and faster, and we know that it'll work.
Okay.
We'll just cut the barrels down and carry around less gun.
It goes back to you can control what you
Right.
make.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you're a gun manufacturer,
yeah.
so you can make the barrel twist rate whatever you want it to be, and you believe that a faster twist rate is better. That's what it sounds like, right?
Exactly. And also that standard barrel, like, we don't know yet. The cartridge hasn't really been proposed officially. So we'll see what they do. I won't speak out of turn, but it's probably like a 16-inch test barrel.
Yeah.
Another thing we probably won't do. So
That's a good point. I mean, as you guys talked about, you're testing short of a barrel length as you can possibly get.
yeah, but we know what's optimum. Like, let's carry little guns. Let's deliver big energy on target. And if I got to tell you, this is the bullet you need, then we'll do that too.
Okay.
It's really interesting stuff.
That was an air bullet. But
I wanted to hear from your perspective, being engineers who are testing this constantly. I'm sure you guys have gone with slower twist rates with the 8.6 and just wondering what results you got and kind of why you came to that conclusion. That's really interesting. And it's a great answer, ultimately saying, hey, let other people come and we'll bring our best foot forward.
Yeah. And you're right. I have tested slower twist. Like we've shot a bunch of guns. I've shot almost as much 1 in 5 as I have 1 in 3, like in official testing, and I know what's up. You know, it's we know as we get faster in the twists, what is required of the bullet manufacturers is to make a higher quality product to accommodate or to complement.
Right.
And you either do or don't want to do that. But I think we have partners there that are really dedicated to doing that now.
Right.
And that's where we'll come out ahead in the end, because we're building F1 cars and you're building Chevy Impalas. Like it'll be different, you know?
Yeah.
But it takes work to do that.
That's a great
Put down a
analogy.
T-shirt.
Mystery shirt.
Yeah,
I'm
I've
just
had
kidding.
it for real.
So here we go. So my question, just like anybody else would ask, right? Does it come in black?
I think I got a can of Rust-Oleum.
There you go.
Yeah, right.
I have an inappropriate response for that.
I was going to say if you shoot it enough.
Dude, I don't do the colors.
I know. I threw that out there as a Hail Mary, and I'm just like, maybe, just possibly. But, I mean,
email Jay at.
I was just thinking that. Yeah.
I'm just looking here. There's some, first of all, the classic clear anodized color.
Yes.
Love it, right? Mm-hmm. But imagine this in black while keeping maybe this black.
I would, a few years ago, I'd have told you, like, never and, like, get wrecked. But we're selling black sugar weasels right now, so, who knows what we'll do.
We did a black.
I will say, like, you got to admit, like, this is our shit right
Oh,
here.
yeah,
Like, this is how you know it's us.
This is, but you know what's also something that turns heads? Seeing a black Q product, and people are like, wait a second, that they never do that.
It's so funny because
It's funny.
Like people, a lot of people, when their new gun comes out, gun manufacturers, they release the model in black.
Right.
And then they come out with a new FD, and everyone wants the new FD. But then
Rally
when
1000.
when it's already FD, and that's the primary color that they start with the new gun, everyone wants black.
You know, we
That's the way it goes.
The grass is always greener.
We were
or blacker. in
Or
this.
blacker.
Yeah, there it is.
The grass is FDE in the fall.
Exactly. That's what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
we were at a anodizing supplier, like checking out a new supplier, and we told them, like, you know, we want clear anodized. We don't like to add dye because it's a better coating. It's a little bit stronger. And the guy means clear. What do you mean, like? And we're like, yeah, it comes out gold. And he's like, oh, you mean the honey badger color? You want the honey badger? And I'm like,
See?
I'm like,
That's
well, yeah,
See?
we make the honey badger.
See?
And he's like, what
That's
do you mean?
So that's what I'm saying. When you see this color, it's just synonymous. You know what it belongs to. You know who did it. You know the family behind it. You know the gusto behind it. You know all of this jazz. And then when you guys started doing like colors, like in that fix that you guys did for Peace of Mind, like that was a whole custom ordeal. Now that thing was.
It was purple.
It's purple.
I don't do the colors.
I did not realize the little color scheme on the fixes. Like if it's like a blue, then it's like a 308, right? And then in red, I think it was like 6.5 Creedmoor.
Brown,
It's
brown
like
6.5.
yeah, brown.
Brown
Black
6.5
is
Creedmoor.
Wait. Time
Yeah,
out.
see?
What? You mean on the buttstock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know. I figured this out when we were at the
What?
factory tour. I was like, wait, why are these colors different?
Why am I just now finding this out?
Maybe you've not looked at our
I didn't
stuff.
realize either.
Oh no, I've looked because I'm the only one at Classic who can put down a stock and underneath like
Oh, nice.
damn near quick, man. Everybody else is like, "How do you do this?" I was like, "Guys, it's the tightest stock on the market. I know I can do it by I have my little touch. I karate chop it. That's my secret. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I do karate chop it. I'm like, pop. But there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I never knew that.
Little secret. Yeah. Easter egg.
What's green gonna be? I don't know. I just felt like throwing out green. I don't know.
Remington? I don't know.
True.
Oh,
That would be a
So,
good one. Yeah.
I mean, like, there's even cool backstory there. Like, we did a bunch of colors to start with. And, like, we come with that black and blue. That's the 308 color scheme. And then Mink goes to 6.5s, and then all the blackout guns are blacked out.
Well,
All the
never
parts
knew
are
that.
black. But in reality, it's just so that we don't have to have too many SKUs.
But-
it's a lot simpler to just be like,
I like
These
it
are
because
all
I
the
don't have to
same.
look at the
Hold
barrel
on.
when we have a bunch of fixes in the video.
I
room.
hear
I
you.
just look at the color and I'm like, oh, yep, that's.
I hear
the
everybody, but
exit.
folks are gonna be like looking at their stuff now, like, I never fucking knew that. Like, I didn't know that. That's
No,
crazy.
You'll see some wild stuff on the internet too. We have more colors. If you come up for a customer build, you can choose your own color.
Well, that's funny. We'll be there shortly. How ironic. About that. You don't say. That's crazy.
Right? It's pretty cool.
And if you have Rust-Oleum, you can have a black boombox.
I hear you, but you know, when I was up there and you know, Mitch pulled out that block stock, and I was just like, "Hey, that's looking real nice, man. I want to try and migrate that somewhere." I'm just saying. Hey.
So
Yeah, you never know.
I got a question. So you guys have been. How long have you guys been a part of Q? First.
February, no.
Yeah, right. I was gonna.
No, both Mitch and I have been in since the beginning. So we started Q in March of 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, we've both been around that long.
I think I was a few hours late. You got to the office before me or something.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I think the first day I bought laptops.
Wow.
I didn't have a laptop. I drywalled
and
the
then
wall.
you
No.
downloaded viruses immediately.
Foxfire, that got me. Damn it.
Foxfire virus downloader.
So you've seen Q progress in so many different ways with the fix, honey badgers, new calibers, so many different ways. What are you personally excited for in the engineering side? And you guys may not even be working on it currently, just something
Right.
that you're interested in for the future.
What do you got? You go first.
There's things I don't want. I don't know if I can
Tell
talk
me what
about.
excites you.
Little secret.
Lean into
I
the
see
mic
it.
and tell me what excites
I can see it in the eyes.
Yeah, I know. I
many-
don't think I'm supposed to talk about it. So
Give me fingers.
He's like,
Yeah, exactly.
four.
Just a little.
You're just gonna go silent.
yeah. I
For
really.
me,
yeah,
I
I'm
think
thinking.
what's super cool about Q today is we have so many new things on the way. So we have more talent, we have more resources, we have more fun. So we got a bunch of silencers coming down the pipe that you're gonna see pretty soon. There might be one on the floor. There's gonna be. It's no secret I'm working on Megafix. That's going to be pretty awesome.
Yes.
So that's pretty heavy on my mind these days. But even just infrastructure and kick-ass robots and stuff. We're going to do lots of stuff
Okay.
internally as well, which is exciting as an engineer. Having more tools is always cool. So.
I can imagine a robot in that machine shop in the engineering HQ. Because separation of church and state is always good. I like that.
Yeah.
I see another the office style video from you guys coming about that. I loved it. It was a vibe. And first of all, y'all's marketing and just the team that goes there. Shout out to those
Except
guys.
Jay.
Oh, come on. let him ride. You guys do such a good job, man, and it's so relatable. It's not anything that's far-fetched, and it not only do you get the gist of it, you get the dynamics of it, you get the science behind it, you get the math behind it, you get all of these things behind it, but it's humorous as hell. And to me, that if you can relate something that we all can sit around and have a good laugh at, that to me is half the battle, man. So you guys are marrying not only just the brand, not only king of the lightweightness, king of all these things, fast twist rate when it comes to 8.6. But you guys are synonymous in creating your own platform and your own lane and doing that. You guys can kick ass at that, man. Seriously. There is nothing more exciting than to figure out what the next mystery shirt is going to be. It's pretty dope.
There is one thing more exciting. Whatever Mitch was imagining.
Oh yeah,
But he
we saw
couldn't say.
the
Yeah.
We
I'm
saw
not
the
gonna let
gaze.
that. I'm not gonna let
Yeah,
that go.
we're not going to press you too hard for that. We'll talk offline.
No, I'll talk.
Oh.
I'll say a few things.
Okay.
Nick has given us a dangerous game gun,
Oh,
which I'm so excited about. But I believe in 8.6 so much, and I love hunting with it so much that what we're working on right now with pushing the subsonic masses higher and the supersonic velocities higher. That's what's got me most excited is the capability out of that gun.
Wow.
And that's where I had to think, like, I'm like, geez, there's so much.
Yeah.
We should talk about that silencer over there. We should talk about the Mega. But, you know, like, that's my baby is the 8.6 gas gun. So it's like, I really am excited for how we're going to stretch out the potential of that cartridge. Like, it's just, I get a little excited.
I
Guys,
can hear
I'm
your
getting
voice.
chills.
Yeah. No, seriously. Yeah.
There's some really cool stuff coming.
Yeah,
down,
it's just, we truly, and I mean, it's pretty cool. Like I mentioned we're going to Africa in a couple of days, and like that's what gets us. Like we are the guys that want to go run around it with the stuff we're making to prove it can be done. I mean, we love making the guns, but we love to hunt with them even more. And like, I don't know, that's where it comes full circle. It's like I can't wait to keep stretching that, you know, pushing it out further, and you know, it's just there's some cool stuff coming.
Push it to the limit, man. I love it.
Well, guys, we appreciate you sitting down with us
Yeah,
and doing
man.
this.
And this is night one.
Night one. This is technically pre-course.
Pre-course.
So we got to do this every night.
I mean, we can't. Every single night.
Are we gonna have more than? What have we been up for? 22 hours.
Yeah. We're wrecked. We are absolutely wrecked. And
Jason, you do not buy flights anymore.
it wasn't my fault, man. I had strict instructions to get here before
Definitely was your fault.
Listen, y'all saw. Okay, first of all, guys, before we cut out of here, just know.
I want this on the record.
I want this on the
exactly.
record, okay? It is not my fault. Uncle Buck, all right, gave me explicit instructions because the last time I came here, I didn't pay attention, and I was driving. I wasn't the navigator. I'm gonna, I'll hold the blame, but because we did not follow the directions, it added on a whole nother 2 hours to the trip, and we are out here on 44,000 acres. That's 82.6 square miles of someone's property. Okay, so if you could understand the necessity of following directions on this one, guys, I'm sorry.
That was great deflection. Yeah.
Whatever. Okay.
Luckily, we didn't follow you at all, and went way ahead of
Okay.
you. And then,
Okay. Now that I will throw somebody underneath the bus because that was not my fault. He would not keep up. Okay.
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah. No, okay.
All right. I'm excited for this course. We're gonna have so much fun. As Jason just said, there's a bunch of acres. I don't know what number it was, but it was a lot.
Yeah.
And
44, I think you said.
yeah, 44. There's 44 acres.
There's only 44. That's
We're
it.
gonna make the most out of that with these 3 nights, and we're gonna have a great time shooting those boom boxes. So, guys, stay tuned for a lot of footage coming up with those boom boxes and little CF contest.
Oh. Oh.
Classic.
I mean, okay.
Wait, what are you doing?
What?
What?
Give me my gun.
No. Give me that.
It's ours now.
He's like, I gotta do more testing on it.
We licked it. It's ours. Well, guys, again, we appreciate you coming out to CF Podcast, guys. It's been real. It's been fun. We appreciate you, and God bless.
See ya.
See you.